Every time I find the new lump, I tell myself the same lie. This one will be the last. It never is. And somewhere, deep down, in the part of my heart I try to keep locked away, I know it won't be. But hope is a stubborn thing. It clings to you, even when logic tries to pry its fingers loose. I remember the first time I felt one. I was giving Marley his nightly belly rub, the same ritual we'd shared for years, when my fingers found it. Just a little bump under his white fur, like a pebble hidden under a blanket. So small, I almost convinced myself I'd imagined it. But when I pressed gently, there it was. Solid, real, foreign. My hand started shaking before my mind could catch up. The vet wasn't convinced it was much. Hopefully just a fatty tumour, very common in older dogs. We'll remove it and it'll be as good as new. We cut it out, and for a brief beautiful moment, I thought we were done. I thought we'd beaten something, won a battle I didn't even know we were fighting. But a few months later, my fingers found another one. This one was on his chest, right where his heart beat strongest. Then another on his back leg, then another on his hip. Each discovery felt like a small betrayal, not by him, but by time itself. Now at 10 years old, Marley's body feels like a map I don't want to read. Each lump a marker of the places time has touched. Each one a reminder that I'm losing a war I can't even see. But here's the thing that breaks me and heals me all at once. He doesn't care. He doesn't know what any of it means. He doesn't lie awake at night wondering if the next lump will be different, cataloguing each one in memory like evidence in a case I don't want to solve. He still wakes up every morning with the same tail wag. Not just any tail wag, but the one that says the whole world just began and he's the luckiest dog alive to be a part of it. His entire body vibrates with joy so pure it makes my chest tight. He still pushes his greying head under my hand at exactly 7 a.m, asking for scratches in the same spot behind his left ear, since he's asked for them since he was a puppy. His eyes still close in the blissful way, like my fingers hold some kind of magic. He still looks at me like I'm the centre of the universe, like I hung the moon and stars just for him, like every day with me is Christmas morning. And maybe that's what makes it hurt so much, this beautiful, devastating contrast between his innocence and my awareness. Because I can see the things he can't. I see the clock hanging on the wall of our life together, its hands moving with the relentless precision of time that doesn't negotiate. I hear it ticking in every quiet moment, when he's sleeping peacefully and I'm watching his chest rise and fall, when we're sitting together in the evening light, when he looks up at me with those trusting brown eyes. I feel time in every subtle change, the way he sleeps a little longer now, stretching his legs like he's working out invisible kinks, the way he struggles just a little bit more to stand up after a nap sometimes, the way his muzzle has gone completely white, like someone has dusted it with snow while he wasn't looking. We live in a world of miracles disguised as medicine. You can cut out a tumour with surgical precision. You can give pills that shrink masses and extend lives. You can fix a limp, heal a wound, mend what's broken. But you can't slow down the hands of the clock. Not really. Not in any way that matters. You can only buy time, borrow it, steal precious moments from an uncertain future. And one day, a day I can't think about without my throat closing up, it runs out. I used to think being a good dog owner was about the basics, feeding them the best food, keeping them safe from harm, giving them a warm bed and clean water, making sure they had their shots and regular checkups. And it is all of those things. But the real work, the work that changes you, that breaks you open and puts you back together differently, begins when you realise you can't protect them from everything. When you have to learn to love them knowing you will lose them. When you have to find the courage to be their whole world while yours slowly cracks apart. So now every time the vet calls with results, every time he says with that careful, measured tone, "We found another one," I've learned to turn that moment into something else. Not denial, not false hope, but a reason, a fierce, urgent reason, to make the next day better than the last. I take him to the park sometimes, even if it's just a slow walk, while he stops to sniff every single blade of grass like he's reading the neighbourhood newsletter. I watch him discover the world through his nose, his tail wagging at scents I can't even imagine. I give him the treats he's not supposed to have, the piece of bacon from my breakfast plate, the corner of my sandwich. The ice cream cone he watches me eat with such concentrated longing that resistance becomes impossible. I let him stay on the bed longer in the mornings, even if his paws are muddy from our pre-dawn trip to the backyard. I let him take up more space than a 13-kilo dog should visibly occupy, his body somehow expanding to claim 3/4 of a king-size mattress. I wake up twisted into impossible positions. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Because the truth is, the truth that took me years to understand, he's not counting the days like I am. He's not marking time in months or weeks or even hours. He's counting moments. The moment the leash comes out, an adventure becomes possible. The moment his food bowl hits the floor and the world becomes perfect. The moment I walk through the door and he acts like I've returned from a year-long journey instead of a trip to the grocery store. And I think that's the lesson dogs give us. The one we never want to learn. The one that hurts to understand. That forever isn't real. It's a human invention. A story we tell ourselves to make the temporary feel permanent. But right now is as real as anything gets. Right now, as I write this, he's not here. Right now he's lying on a sterile metal table in a vet clinic, recovering from a surgery. Another lump. Another night where I kissed his forehead and whispered, "See you tomorrow," while trying not to let him see the fear in my eyes. But he's not alone. Lily, his sister, is there with him. When I dropped them both off, I watched her settle into the kennel next to his, the way she always does when he's scared. The vet staff didn't have to suggest it. They could see how she positioned herself so he could see her, how her presence made his tail wag, even through his anxiety. Last night they put him under anaesthesia for the 3rd time this year. I watched them carry his sleepy body into the back room, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. Because what if this time is different? What if his old heart decides it's had enough? What if I've used up all my see you tomorrows? At least I know that when he wakes up groggy and confused, Lily will be the first thing he sees. Her familiar scent, her gentle presence, the same comfort she's given him for 10 years. The house feels wrong without them both. Too quiet, too empty. Their favourite tennis ball is still in the exact spot where Marley dropped it yesterday morning, like it's waiting for them to come home. Both their beds by the window still hold the impressions of their bodies, and I can't bring myself to fluffy the cushion back into shape. I keep checking my phone, waiting for the call that says he's awake, that he's okay, that I can come get them both. But right now, all I have is this silence, and the knowledge that somewhere across town, they're together. He's breathing without me there to count each rise and fall of his chest, but at least Lily's there to do what I can't. This morning when I should have been giving him his usual belly rub, while Lily waited patiently for her turn, I was holding 2 empty leashes instead. Dr. Dino said he should be fine. Routine procedure, he called it. And I believe him, because he's been with us through every lump, every scare, every 2 a.m. emergency call over the past 4 years. He knows Marley's medical history by heart, not just from charts, but from the way Marley's tail still wags when he sees him, even in this sterile place that should terrify him. He's in the best hands, Dr. Dino told me last night, and I knew he meant it. I've seen how gently he handles Marley during exams, how he always gets down on the floor to Marley's level, how he talks to him in that soft voice reserved for the patients who can't talk back but understand everything. But even knowing that, even trusting someone who's become more than just our vet, he's become our ally in the fight against time. Nothing about this feels routine when it's your dog, your best friend, your shadow of 10 years lying unconscious in someone else's hands. So right now, while I wait for that call, while I sit in this too quiet house, surrounded by their toys and their smell and the ghost of their presence, I'm writing this. Because sometimes the only way to handle this fear is to turn it into something that matters. And because I know that even in a sterile vet clinic, surrounded by unfamiliar sounds and smells, Marley has what matters most. Lily by his side, the way it's always been. If you want to see an animated story I created about my 2 dogs, Lily and Marley, a story about love and loss and the spaces they leave behind, I'll leave a link in the description. But more importantly, if you're watching this and you've got a dog curled up next to you, or maybe one in another room, or maybe one you haven't hugged in a way too long, stop what you're doing. Don't wait until they're in a vet clinic somewhere, fighting with anaesthesia, while you're home holding their empty collar. Don't wait until the house feels like it's missing its heartbeat. Go give them your time, not the leftover minutes at the end of an exhausting day when you're scrolling your phone and they're just there. Not the distracted petting while you're thinking about tomorrow's meetings. Give them the best minutes, the focused ones, the ones where you put everything else away, and remember that they chose you out of all the humans in the world. The minutes they'll remember in the only way a dog can remember, completely and without condition, and with their whole heart. Because when they're gone, and I hate that this is true, but it is, you'll trade anything to get those minutes back. You'll replay every missed opportunity, every time you were too busy, every moment you chose something else over them. And right now, while Marley sleeps in a place that isn't home, surrounded by the smell of antiseptic instead of his favourite blanket, but with Lily's reassuring presence beside him, I'm promising myself that when they do both come back, when, not if, every moment will matter. Don't let that be your story. And if you've been through this before, if you're nodding along because you know this pain, if you've watched the lumps appear and disappear and come back again like uninvited guests, please leave a comment. Tell me about your dog. Tell me their name and the way they made you laugh, and the thing they did that no other dog will ever do quite the same way. I like to think that talking about them, sharing their stories, keeps them here just a little bit longer. That somewhere in the space between memory and love, they're wagging their tails. If this story found you when you needed it, if it reminded you of something important, hit subscribe, not for me, for them. For all the dogs who love us more than we deserve and teach us how to live while we're busy planning for tomorrow. Because this won't be the last story I tell about the ones who change us. The ones who show us that the most profound love is the kind that comes with an expiration date. And the bravest thing you can do is love them anyway. Completely. Without condition. With your whole heart. While there's still time. This is Mr. Pink's Monologues After Midnight. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you again very soon. Good night.